Well, we're moving on to chapter 4 today. This one's titled Performing Basic Vehicle Maneuvers. I hope everyone's watching because as I look at the numbers, they seem to be going down, and I wonder why I'm doing this at all, but hopefully you're watching. Obviously, if you're seeing it, you are. Lesson 1, mirror usage and backing. Use the inside rearview mirror and 2 outside mirrors. In addition, convex mirrors can be added to help compensate for blind spots. Again, they can help a little bit, but don't completely go away from checking the blind spot. Okay, inside rear view mirror, check before and after passing another vehicle to see whether the car behind you is in a position to pass the other vehicle. One thing about changing lanes is, excuse me, remember the acronym SMOG. So as you're preparing to make a left turn into the lane or a U-turn or getting on the freeway, the acronym is SMOG. So you're going to signal. While the signal's on, you can check your mirrors inside and out. Then if everything's good that way, look over your shoulder, check your blind spot. A lot of kids think checking the outside mirror is the blind spot. It's not. You're looking straight out the window, and with your peripheral vision, you'll see a car behind you. And then if everything's good that way, then you go or you make your change. Again, before moving the vehicle, once you get in and get buckled in and everything ready, check your mirrors, make sure you can see the side of the car. You don't want to have to move your body. You want to just be able to glance at it, so make sure it's moved so you can see it. We talked about convex mirrors, backing up. So a lot of vehicles, if you look out the back, there's probably 40, 45 feet of ground, of pavement you can't see because just the way the car sits and the way you're sitting in the car. So obstructions might lie on the pavement. Make sure to walk again in front or behind, depending on which way you're going first. So procedures for backing: place your foot firmly on the brake, shift into reverse, use a target to aim the car toward. Look over your right shoulder to see your targeting path. Check all 3 mirrors to supplement looking over the shoulder. Travel no faster than a crawl by slightly releasing brake pedal pressure. So backing straight, put the left hand up on the steering wheel. It's easiest to put the right hand behind the passenger seat, and that helps you to pull yourself so you can see out the back. And remember, if the car is starting to go, I guess it depends on which way you're looking. If you're going to go moving to the right side of the road, then you want to move the steering wheel left, because that's the way you bring the car back. So whichever way you want the back end to go, that's the direction you turn the wheel. Okay, number 2, basic driving maneuvers. Signaling is very important to communicate with other drivers. As you enter a traffic flow, check to your left, front, and right zones before entering the traffic flow. Find a space to enter within the traffic flow. Select the proper and legal lane. After entering a traffic flow, cancel the turn signal manually if necessary. Reevaluate the rear zone for fast approaching vehicles. Also, down at the bottom of 66, so if maybe you're towing a trailer and you know that you don't have brake lights on that trailer, or that your signal lights are blocked, then you can tell people what you're going to be doing. You put your hand out the window and put it like this for a right turn. I always think up and over. So this is my right hand as you look at me. So up and over to the right. Left turn straight out, and slowing down and stopping is like that. Some of you maybe learned that as you got an ATV course. Okay, right and left turns, position your vehicle in the correct lane for the turn. Brake early to reduce your speed. Search left, front, and right zones. Slow to about 10 miles an hour. For right turn, check to the left again before turning. Again, you're going to be turning right. Make sure no one is coming from the left. For a left turn, check traffic to the left, front, and right, and be certain there's no oncoming traffic. Okay, you would have to yield to oncoming traffic. Turn into the nearest lane of traffic going in your direction. That's a really important one. So let's say you're up here at Pioneer Market and you're going to get on Main Street going south. That's to the right. So you would enter the right-hand lane. That would be the nearest lane for you. If you're going north up at Pioneer Market, then you would cross over the two southbound lanes and also the turn lane, and then you would get into the left lane of those two lanes traveling north, okay? On 67, you can see the picture on the right-hand side. So the gray car's making a right turn. They're a little towards the right side of that lane. The other car's making a left turn, and you can see how they're in a little more to the left of that lane. Okay? Lane changes. Again, put your signal light on. Use lane position 2 or 3. Check your mirror and blind spot. Gradually ease into your new lane. Release the signal lever. One thing about the signal lever, so if you push it down hard, it will stay in place. If you push it up hard, it will stay in place. But if you barely tap it, it may signal 3 times before stopping. And a lot of kids might bump it and then think, oh, I've got to turn it off, and then it keeps signaling all the time. So just remember that. Turning a vehicle, a turnabout is when you turn your vehicle around to go in the opposite direction. Take these precautions when you plan to make a turnabout. Be sure local laws permit it. Select the location with at least 10 seconds of visibility. Do not make a turnabout near hills or curves or within 200 feet of an intersection. Never attempt to turn about in heavy or high-speed traffic. Continually check all around you for traffic, bicyclists, and pedestrians. Mid-block U-turn. Make sure local and state laws permit it. Pretty much the same. You can see they've pulled off the road and just made a U-turn. Most important, make sure it's legal to do that. Okay, backing into a driveway on the right side. So these would be a 2-point turn. So pretty basic. If there's a driveway, I pull into the driveway, then I back out and come back the same direction. I've turned around, but that's a 2-point turn. 2 options on that one. You can go past the driveway, turn or back into the driveway, and then pull forward. So both of those are acceptable. I guess no, that's not it, sorry. Okay, over on page 70, pull into a driveway. So again, there's the 2 options there. And then the next one is the 3-point turn. So on this one, you're going to signal to the right side, pull over. You don't have to go off the road, just pull to the edge, stop, signal left, make sure nobody is coming, turn sharp to the left before moving, then you go across, stop again, back up, and pull forward. So that's a 3-point turn. 1, 2, 3. And then again, the other 2-point turn into the driveway, out is 1, 2. Okay, number 3, parking maneuvers. Angle parking and perpendicular parking. So angle parking, down at the bottom you can see position A would be angle parking, B would be perpendicular, and then C would be the parallel parking. So all of these you can use different reference points, and that's some part of the outside or inside of the vehicle as viewed from the driver's seat that relates to a part of the road, or it could even be the sidewalk or curb. Okay, so angle and perpendicular parking, I'll let you read through some of that information there on their specific steps, but a couple of things to keep in mind is your position away from the car. Notice how it's a little different from the angled versus perpendicular parking. So again, I'll let you read through these. Leaving an angled space, perpendicular back-in parking. Let's go on to parallel parking now. This is on page 73. So just look at those pictures on the right-hand side. We're in the blue car. So we've pulled up next to the gray car at about 3 feet away on the left-hand side. The signal stays on. Then you're going to turn the wheel all the way to the right, okay? And that starts the car backing in. Once the headrest or the door pillar, if it's a 4-door, the door pillar, gets to the back of the car, then I have my students straighten the wheels. Then you'll continue to back up, and when you think you're close enough and you've also cleared the front, then you can crank the wheel sharp to the left, and that will then tuck the front of the car in. And then in picture 5, you just split the difference between the two cars. You don't want to pull up and get real close to one in case somebody does the same thing to you, then you may not get out. So, okay. And then number 4 is leaving a parallel parking space. So I have students turn all the way to the right, back up, and that starts moving the front end out. So you can leave that parallel parking space in a shorter distance versus just backing up straight. And then finally we have parking on hills. A lot of kids really stress about this. It's fairly easy. I know it is for me because I don't know how many times I've repeated this to kids. Excuse me. So a couple of different ways to remember it. So you have 4 hill parkings. There are 2 uphill, 2 downhill, 2 with a curb, and 2 without a curb. Okay? So any of the curbs or any of the parkings that are without the curb, you're going to turn the wheels to the right. So the idea is that you will have the car roll off the road. So if it's downhill with a curb, to the right. If it's uphill with a curb, to the right. And that way the car will roll off the road, okay? The other 2 with the curb, you want the right front tire to touch the curb. So if I'm downhill, I'm going to turn the wheels to the right, let it roll slowly till I touch the curb. Then I'm going to put the car in park and set my emergency brake, and then take my foot off the brake. And that's the same with all of these, all 4 of them. Once you've stopped, then keep your foot on the brake, put it in park, set the emergency brake, and then your right foot can come off the brake. And that holds the car in place. And then the final one, it's the only one that goes left, is when you are uphill with the curb. And so you'll turn the wheels to the left. You're going to go reverse or neutral and back up slowly till you touch that curb with the right front tire, and then parking brake, or put it in park and then set your parking brake. So, and both of the ones with the curb, to leave, you don't have to go in reverse. You can just turn the wheel and pull away. And the one with uphill with the curb, you're already turned out. So just make sure to signal when you pull off to the side of the road and getting back on. And so this is chapter 4. We'll do this closed book on Monday. So I appreciate all of you staying caught up and studying. Please read those chapters. In the announcements, I'll have the assignment. Thank you.